When it all feels like everything's impossible and you don't fit right in a crowd, go out and break the mold. If you don't try, you'll never fly, but you gotta be brave.
Like many Western fans, action shows like Dragon Ball Z and Naruto were my gateway anime. I remember as a kid watching these shows on Toonami and then running around pretending I was a ninja. But as I grew older, I began to move on from these childish action shows to more mature shows focused on realism and drama. You know, really serious shows that don't need bombastic action set pieces or characters who fight using the power of friendship. Shows like Shirobako, March Comes In Like a Lion, and K-On! Very complex and serious stuff, like girl bands. I've really enjoyed the recent boon of girl band anime, which has brought us wonderful music and new levels of teenage angst. These shows do a fantastic job of building tension and conflict, and then releasing everything in these powerful performances. It's dramatic, yet so grounded too, thanks to its contemporary setting. And so I've been snootily lording over the shonen fans with the superior genre that combines drama and moe into something unique. That's what I thought, at least, until I read an interview from Shinya Watada, the director of Rock is a Lady's Modesty. When asked why girl band anime have started to pick up steam recently, he said that the raw power and intensity of rock music seemed to resonate deeply with the emotional needs of viewers in this era. That viewers were drawn in by these shows' strong depictions of themes like struggle, grief, and resistance. And at first, those felt like strange choices for themes because they aren't the type of words you'd normally associate with high school girls in a slice of life type of show. Their problems stem around finding friends at school and learning to play their instrument. You think Yui from K-On! Has ever faced despair since joining the Light Music Club? But the more I thought about it, the more I felt that the modern girl band anime really was about overcoming some form of tragedy or trauma through their newfound band. Lisa from Rock is a Lady's Modesty struggles to find balance between her passion for rock music and fitting in with high society. The girls from Bang Dream It's My Go must learn to live with the grief of their first disbandment. And Nina from Girls Band Cry refuses to bow down to societal, familial, and even corporate expectations, resisting these adults and staying true to her principles. When I think about Watada's words, I start to believe that characters like Lilisa, Tomori, and Nina may have more in common with characters like Tanjiro and Naruto than they do with characters like Yui. But before jumping into girl bands, it's important that we define what makes a show a shonen. Shonen manga specifically is a type of manga that originated and was intended to target young male audiences. These days, the term has come to encapsulate any show with a theme centered around friendship and perseverance. But the basics of shonen remain. They feature protagonists who are outsiders or come from traumatic pasts. These characters stand for some form of idealism or belief that is often rejected by society, and they embark on some form of the hero's journey, training to overcome trials or defeat a nemesis. For example, the titular character of Naruto begins the show as a scorned child due to his status as the host of a powerful demon. He gradually gains allies and strength by training and exemplifying to others the values of determination and loyalty in a world where bloodlines mean everything and acts of kindness are exploited. And in the end, he defeats his rivals and accomplishes his dream of becoming the leader of his village. Then there's Dragon Ball, which continuously repeats the hero's journey narrative structure to keep the story going. Goku is constantly thrust into these unfamiliar worlds in the form of new, stronger opponents. As a result, he must train and face trials in order to ultimately defeat these threats and demonstrate the supremacy of good. In these stories, victory over evil is the cathartic proof that their sets of beliefs are correct. This almost instructional nature of the modern manga can trace its origins to the post-war period after World War II, where mangaka like Tezuka Osamu were writing stories offering complex life lessons in a Japan that was still trying to find its footing. So my working definition of shonen as a genre is one that has four things: protagonists with traumatic pasts, an underdog story, an unwavering ideal, and a moment of cathartic triumph. And when I simplified this genre into this list, I realized, wow, all the recent girl band shows I've been enjoying actually complete the items on this checklist. This year, Rock is a Lady's Modesty introduces Lilisa, a girl who comes from a poor upbringing and no longer has her father in her life. She works hard to blend in with her rich classmates despite lacking the same background and training as her new peers. She refuses to give up on her love of rock and forms a covert band with the dream of performing at Fuji Rock while still maintaining her identity as a socialite. And in the climactic battle of the bands, she turns around a rough performance by deciding to ignore expectations and indulge in her selfish desire to rock out as hard as possible, stakes and band cohesion be damned. This performance even manages to impress their opponents enough to forgo their wager, demonstrating the righteousness of her reason for playing. So you can see how Lilisa's story actually checks off all 4 of our requirements for Shounen. This same framework appears in Bocchi the Rock, one of the biggest shows back in 2022 that helped kick off this newfound interest in rock bands. The protagonist, Bocchi, has a tragic past where she was so socially awkward that she couldn't make a single friend. Even after finally forming a band, Bocchi's anxiety stops her from playing at her full potential, and as an introvert, she regularly must overcome a myriad of social situations. In spite of these insecurities, there's a part of Bocchi that realizes that she cannot give up when it matters the most. As someone who went through all of middle school magically waiting for someone to initiate this turning point in her life, Bocchi won't let the opportunities pass by her any longer, and always manages to clutch up. In almost every performance, Bocchi lives up to her YouTube channel's name, Guitar Hero, by improvising and overcoming her weaknesses to deliver kick-ass guitar solos. And I can keep going with other notable protagonists like Nina and Tomori, but I think the narrative structure is fairly clear at this point. These aren't just cute girls doing cute things. Girl bands must conquer ordeals to preserve their dreams. They stand for something, ranging from perseverance to righteousness to community. Things that these characters will risk their lives for or demand everlasting commitment towards. And it's not just the death-defying stubbornness that links the two genres, there's the way these outcasts find the place they belong, whether it is a band, a guild, or a pirate crew. There are rivalries that allow the cast to grow together. And of course, there are these intense performances where characters are screaming out their feelings or shredding on guitars, which are incredibly reminiscent of those climactic fight scenes between the hero and the final boss. I try to avoid being overly reductive of the conflicts and story elements in both of these shows, but I think the concerts bringing the action and energy really seals the deal on the similarity between these genres. When those songs end, that rush of euphoria makes it clear the value and the significance of the tribulations that brought the band together. Music isn't just a vehicle to overcome personal hardship, it is the rebellion and fight against the world that traumatized them. So it's clear that many of these girl band shows echo the same themes and narratives as shonen shows. Again, you wouldn't expect it from a cast of high school girls playing in a band, but I can't help but think rock was the only choice that could enable this crossover. While each band has its own unique subgenre, ranging from alternative to math rock, they can all be widely classified as rock music. This genre has long been correlated with anti-conformism and rebellion. Think about bands like Rage Against the Machine or the Sex Pistols. For instance, in Rage Against the Machine's No Shelter, the singer critiques the entertainment industry for manipulating the public for the sake of profit. Cinema, simulated life, ill drama, Fourth Reich culture, Americana, chained to the dream they got you searching for, the thin line between entertainment and war. Guitarist Morello describes the music as the means by which this virus is spread, in which virus refers to their political messages. Their frustrations and experiences are given power and reach through their songs, allowing them to direct their misgivings about corporations and governments. As groups like Rage Against the Machine show, a genre that is all about scoffing at the status quo or looking down upon normality is the ideal vehicle through which characters who don't fit in with the others can fight back. This all loops back to shonen because of how these characters are underdogs in their worlds. In the same way the kind Tanjiro fights back against the tyranny of demons, and the short Hinata competes in a sport dominated by tall players, these girls are at a disadvantage, yet they resist the norm. and it's spoken in plain words through their lyrics. Rock music is the medium through which these characters express their defiance. For instance, Bocchi's frustrations over her inability to fit in are vocalized in songs like I Will Never Forget. Words like Springtime of Youth it ain't something that really fit me, even though my heart truly knows it would only occur once per lifetime, hence its abundance with evanescence. It's Maigo's song, Mayoi Uta, talks about not only Tomori's isolation and pain growing up, but also her determination to reach out to others. The popular songs always don't sing about me. Hey, don't laugh at me from your vision. Holding the same burning chest somewhere, I'm here for you who trembles too, I'll shout, the song of the lost star. Nina rages against the adults who mistreated her in Ideal Paradox, screaming her frustrations over the world's unfairness that nearly drove her to suicide. Who do I trust? What do I despair over? Where do I breathe? I don't know anything anymore. I just want to end it all, just like this ideal. These are lyrics that decry the status quo that these girls don't belong to. In the same way Rage Against the Machine rails against authority, girl bands are airing their grievances and expressing their struggles. Despite the pain, they still push forward. This defiance is how they all find themselves in bands that accept them for those flaws. This persistence is how they leave an impact on others and unite sympathizers. And this resiliency is how they take command of their own destinies to defeat the big bad, whether it's loneliness, depression, or expectations. There's a natural synergy between the dissidents of rock music and the themes of Shounen. And the product of that collaboration is girl band anime. Someone once asked me what it was about girl bands that has recently captured the adoration of anime fans. Ultimately, girl band anime is simply more of the same thing we've always loved with the twist. They're about underdogs, they are about friendship, they're about sick, cathartic action set pieces. But they're also about empowerment. Girl band anime are just like Shounen, but the villains are less tangible and the swords are pens and microphones. So let me apologize to the Shounen fans about my rant at the start of the video. It turns out you and I are not so different after all.